Now we're going to learn how to make a pair of simple hoop earrings. Again, we're going to use copper wire. I recommend anytime you're trying a new technique, you always do it with copper. It's less expensive than silver or any other metal, and so that way if you don't quite get it right the first time, it's not that big of a deal. Also, we're going to need a bench block, a plastic hammer, a file, a pen or some sort of cylinder to wrap your wire around for the shape of the hoop, wire cutters, round nose pliers, and chain nose pliers. So we're going to start by cutting off a length of your copper wire. I like to do 24 gauge. It's a nice thin hoop that you can use on your ears, or also 22 gauge works pretty well too. So then you just take your wire and you wrap around your pen or whatever you've chosen to use. A nice wooden dowel would work well too. And now you've got this coil. So you can see there's this flat excess that hangs off here. I'm going to cut that so I don't have to worry about it with the flat end of the wire cutters up against the wire that I want to keep, so we'll have a nice flat edge. Now you can take your file and file it to make it nice and smooth so you have a nice clean edge there. This will be the part that isn't going through your ear. So now we'll take our round nose pliers, and at the end we'll make a loop. A clear loop that goes flush all the way around. And now I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and make sure that it's as straight as possible. And I'm also going to go ahead and figure out how much of the wire I'm going to need to complete the earring so I could cut it. So I want to go up on my spiral to about where the hoop is, and then give it a little bit more, about 3 millimeters more, so that you have room to work with it. Okay, so now you have this basic spiral shape. Now if you grasp with your chain nose pliers inside the hoop and you push down so that you are flush with where it comes around here, then you bend it so that if you were to keep drawing a line straight from where the wire, before it curves, it will go straight through your loop. And then you grab it, the entire loop, and you twist it so that it is flat. So that now your wire will sit like this, just like you would any other hoop. Okay. Now, with your chain nose pliers, you want to line up with the center of your hoop and grasp the ear wire. I usually scooch a little bit just to give myself a little bit of room, and then bend it to a 90-degree angle. See here? You have your 90-degree angle. That wire might flip off a little bit at the end, but that's not a big deal because we're going to be trimming that down. So now I'll make sure that this is nice and flat just by gently squeezing with my pliers. And now if I look at this, I can see I want about 1 or 2 millimeters of wire that will be able to go through the ear. So again, I'll use the flat side of my wire cutters so I'll get a nice flush edge. And here's where your file comes in again. Now this, you want to take good care to make sure that you get off all the jagged edges. Make it as nice and soft as possible. After you've done this for a little while, you can feel and see if your finger catches at all. And now you can just sort of rock it back and forth and work it through so that the hoop is complete. Now, as you can see here, my loop is a little bit high. So I'll take my pliers and again, very gently, just rock the hoop so that it is flush. And there's your hoop.